So happy to be in a Cosmos event, first time in my life. I used to be actually an auditor in the past, even for EVM networks. Now Sui is working with a Move language, completely different scalability and the way we're programming. However, there are a few things we can all work together to make it actually in an interchain world. And Sui, I believe it will be the settlement network for many of the things that you will see today. So a few things about myself. Work. Okay. A few things about myself. I personally lived in all of the countries in the world that are united. European Union, United Kingdom, United States, UAE today. Also the lead cryptographer at Facebook for a while. Many of you are running my software, especially if you're doing WhatsApp, maybe some Instagram and Messenger. And I'm a cryptographer by profession, so I'm the nerd of the company. And we created Sui after the Libra collapse, like there was a project from Facebook to bring a new stable coin, I would say a basket of coins in the world. This didn't work well, and eventually the technology was there. We created Sui. Apart from all of this, though, I also worked on algorithmic trading, and I will explain how AI can be also the meeting point between all of the blockchains out there, and probably the Cosmos network can also take advantage of this. Because there are opportunities. You will realize even today how you can create a marriage between AI and Web3, and maybe a new startup conceptualization might start here in this room. As I said before, all of the team in Sui actually worked in so many projects in the past that technically you're bringing a technology of 15 years. I was personally part of the indirectly talking to Satoshi at the very beginning. I took my PhD, defended it in 2010, but I had the opportunity to work with some of his first developers back then, like Mike Hahn, who was the creator of Bitcoin J, Java. I was a Java developer. But many of my co-founders actually worked on so many blockchains that are now part of the ecosystem, of the Cosmos ecosystem. And I will explain why and what made the difference to us to leave Facebook and eventually create something new and now bring innovation in the space. One of them is we focused a lot on white papers and actually innovation that goes to peer-reviewed conferences. This plays a role. I've seen many blockchains at the moment that they're only having the white paper of their network, but every new algorithm, imagine as we have continuous audits, eventually we also need to have continued papers on the evolution of the blockchain, right? And sometimes this doesn't exist. If you go and see the documentation of many protocols are not aligned 100% with the white paper. This is always something that you need to put effort on this, but we do it, I believe, in the most efficient way, just because 50% of the Sui developers now, they're coming from Apple, Facebook, Google, they know how to build documentation. And in my opinion, it's one very important factor to simplify how people can enter the blockchain world. Applications now that people can build on the blockchain. Everybody's talking about trading, but it's not only trading, right? We have to think of all of the real-world assets that can go live on the Web3. And some applications include even energy sector. We're here on Dubai at the moment. There is also tourism. There is government services. You will definitely see KYC and IDs happening even now, starting from UAE, I believe, just because they're offering this regulation element, make it easier for us. Cities, you will see a lot of things happening in the next few years, mostly because of transparency, and maybe because people want to have some ownership and everything can be an NFT. Imagine the certificate you all got from your universities. I don't understand why it's not an NFT at the moment. Imagine I was at Facebook getting all of these interviews. I was getting someone applying from a country that I've never heard, and they said, oh, I have this university degree. I cannot even verify that you had this. With blockchain, probably we can go to a different level. There are also more cool apps you can build, right? You will see about time capsules today. You can encrypt messages to the future. You will see some great ideas of AI. You will see virtual museums, like how you can combine all of this AR, VR with the blockchain and all of these things. And this depends on innovation. Innovation is moving a lot faster, in my opinion, compared to the startups that are emerging, and they don't have enough time to gain momentum in the world. But you will realize we're trying to make it easier for the regular people to join. If you know, the number of developers on EVM at the moment is not even a single digit of the developers that are in the Web2 world. People who know Java are probably 100 times more than people who are writing Ethereum contracts, right, or Sui contracts. at the moment. We have to bridge this gap, and in my opinion, it's the most important thing to simplify all of the operations here. Now, when we're building blockchains, what is it, right? Is it only the CPU and the RAM? Imagine that the Ethereum at the moment, Sui at the moment, is a network, and you cannot go and store there unlimited megabytes of data. It's impossible, right? Because the validators then will be slow. Whatever systems you are using, having like gigabytes of data going on-chain, it cannot work. People are using IPFS at the moment, and even IPFS might not have some capabilities that you need from a real network because it's not a blockchain, it's something else. So we created another thing, right? And we said, okay, let's build Walrus, and Walrus will be the hard disk of the blockchain. And then we said, okay, let's build a game engine, literally like the Game Boy, which is like the Sui Play. And then we said, okay, let's try to figure out what is required for a computer and the internet of the web to build a full blockchain. And we did all of this stack in order to create something that for different people, something else is important. I will say that we even worked, if you see the bottom left side, how we can even communicate when there is no internet. Right? One day there is an earthquake, there is a tsunami. What do? There is probably some governmental issues and they don't allow you to connect, right? We're trying to solve this problem as well, literally going into the internet backbone, changing many things. As I said before, Walrus, we expect this to be like one evolution on top of the IPFS, and in my opinion, something that the Cosmos ecosystem should also think about. Because now you have validators actually verifying your data. You don't need replication factor. It's not a blockchain. You are storing it in all of the nodes. You are expecting like some nodes to exist, and with some probability the data will be there. But there is no consensus as we have in proof of stake, proof of work for storage at the moment. There was nothing, right? So we're building this layer. It's called Walrus. Obviously, now imagine someone can even build a Netflix on the blockchain. Because by the time you have all of the logic on chain and all of the storage now being able to be accommodated by the decentralized system, maybe some of the companies can realize, oh, I can have now subscription on chain. I can give NFTs and loyalties on chain. Maybe people can even buy movies and buy the rights for the movies on chain. It will change completely the total world of how we're thinking about what is a blockchain, what is a new internet, Web3. The other thing that is very different from what it was before is randomness. Some people are laughing sometimes, and they say, look, you're implementing randomness, this is only useful on gambling, which is a huge mistake. Even how we're picking referees on sports games, imagine a soccer game, can affect the result of the game by a high degree. Even who is the first person who is on the penalty shootout and gets the ball. It plays a role, even if you're playing chess. You know, it's a completely different thing if you're starting with white or black. And it's completely different if you play two games and your first game is white and your second is black. So even if we think a few things are random and fair, in reality they are not. People can sit here, right? On AI, can you imagine why randomness is required on AI? Go ask ChatGPT 10 times, you will get 10 different answers. How do you know if we put AI on chain, the answer is that random, of course, unpredictable, but deterministic at the same time. Someone didn't go and ask the AI agent, the AI oracle 100 times. Use some random seed, and from now on, everything is deterministic, and we know that the answer cannot be changed. This will change how AI is embedded into the blockchain space. The other thing is, go and ask your parents, remember 12 words to have a blockchain account. There is no way it can happen. As I said, I'm coming from Facebook, and I know this is 99% of the population cannot do that. And even if they do it, they will lose a password. There will be a cleaner in the house, and the cleaner will just throw it away to the trash. So we try to find other solutions here, and this, I believe, will be the norm in the next iterations of the blockchain evolution, which is called ZK login. Login with Google, Facebook, Apple, and automatically you have an account on chain. This was not possible before, and for this we're using the technology that you probably know through the L2 technologies. It's using zero-knowledge proofs, but there is a way to create an account on chain. You only need your Google account, and Google cannot link your account to their Google login, which is crazy. Magically, it's happening. It is possible. It took us 1-2 years to actually get into a solution that it's also super effective, 1 second, 2 seconds to get an account and sharing passwords anymore. So other things that are required were under this account abstraction model, right? Sponsoring transactions. There is a green dot at the very end on the right. If we don't sponsor transactions, some of the banks cannot hold crypto at the moment. But what they can do is they can have a contract with someone who is a sponsor, then they can pay the fees on the blockchain, like Ethereum fees or Sui fees or whatever it is, and they're having a contract with fiat money, so practically they are now compliant. And imagine how people onboard on the blockchain. Can you onboard if you don't have Ethereum? How do you go and buy your first NFT? First, you have to buy Ethereum. Even if someone sends you an NFT, you need to find some Ethereum to sell it, right? So sponsoring will be a must. I don't believe freemium, whatever is the gaming industry that we're about, is important even on Web3. We have to solve this problem. So in Sui, at least, we made it native. All of the transactions can be sponsored if the person wants. Maybe you can even watch a video, like 3 seconds, and then automatically someone is sponsoring your transaction. You don't need crypto. You can play with crypto, infra and assets, but you don't need crypto to do that. Some prototypes here, very quickly, that I believe, in my opinion, excites me like every day to work in, like in the crypto space. Imagine that I named my son Cryptos. I'm literally very deep into the, like all in into the space. One of them is changing even the internet. You know, now we have TCP/IP and the routing problem and all of this stuff. We created Scion. We said, what is our biggest enemy? The enemy is speed of light. We cannot win speed of light, right? I mean, there is a definite amount of how fast we can go. We change how routing is working on the blockchain by having the validators literally finding the optimum path by far better than what internet is working today. This is reducing the latency by far. The other thing we did, and someone might love it here if they're a collector, confidential NFTs. Imagine one of the problems of the Web2 users, the regular users, is I own nothing. Everybody can go and download my NFT. What do I own? What if there was some connection between encryption or partial encryption? You buy a thumbnail, but you get the real file, and only you that you paid for this. Right? This changed completely the concept of ownership now of NFTs. The other thing is, this was my PhD, by the way, time capsules. Imagine what you can do. You can have digital wheels, encrypt something that will be decrypted on the 31st of December this year, or whatever you can imagine. Give a date, and your message will automatically be decrypted for everybody. Voting, sealed bid auctions, anything you can think of, right? It's crazy what you can do if these primitives are now available on the blockchain. People are thinking about just DeFi and probably some gaming. There might be gambling, the real-world assets with oracles. Imagine if you have this. You can even be like a tipster for soccer games, and you say, no, only if you have a subscription, you will see what I predicted, but you will only see it after the end of the game if you didn't pay. Imagine how many things you can do, right, with time capsules now. The other part is Internetless. What do we do, as I said before, if there is no internet? So practically what we managed to do is literally compressing the transactions at such a level where we can use other channels to transact. And the other channels, as you can imagine, are, can I fit a transaction in SMS? Blockchain transaction. Yes, there are ways to do it. I even had a tweet today how people can think about this, but practically we created a demo. We have mainnet transactions now that are using the SMS network. You're in the basement. You're landing in Dubai and your data plan doesn't work. Your data plan expired. You covered all of your megabytes. What do? We even managed to do with walkie-talkies. We even managed to do underwater. Imagine there is FM and AM radio signals, right? Why don't we use that? So there are many ways to actually have a real internet, even outside the borders of countries where it works everywhere, right? So these are like very cool technologies, sometimes very expensive to come up into the result, and then the device is so tiny, $5, and you can do it. The other stuff is we use the AI. And I personally found so many attacks on the EVM ecosystem. Sui, hopefully, all of this before we launch. But I even found a private key of a DeFi platform. And I even managed to see some centralized exchanges that are not solvent. Literally with AI. If I didn't have AI in my back, I wouldn't be able to do that. Which is amazing, right? AI now is almost like a human, and because it has all of this collaborative knowledge, especially for the Cosmos system, no developer can think about all of the blockchains that are in Cosmos. But AI maybe, has a chance to find attacks that are like having to touch many blockchains at the same time. So we need AI. And imagine you're writing a smart contract, and at the very end, before you launch it, or if you are a centralized exchange and you are listing a token, you have AI for a final soft audit. Look, I'm listing something now. I'm Binance, I'm Bybit. can you check before I press the button if AI can find something wrong? And the something wrong could be, oh, you know, this token is inflationary. Even the administrators don't know about it. So we literally found situations of multi-million, I would say almost billion-dollar tokens that the owners didn't know that they can inflate their token, which is crazy, right? I don't believe a human can do that. AI, in my opinion, is something that will connect. It should be part of Cosmos, in my opinion, like as part of the investigation and research. And yeah, the new thing that is coming, we found a way to get back your account even if you lose your key. This is work in progress, but it's, in my opinion, the first model that is between the custodian and the non-custodian model. Even if you don't have a backup, surprisingly, there is a solution to recover your account. We will all pass away one day. What do you do? How do you transfer the funds to your family? There is a solution, which is crazy that this is like a research outcome, and we hope we will make it like a standard for the world. Thank you very much.